Rob G, I don't want to say set the table, but
we're united right now, Rob.
We'll tee it up for you.
Can you tee it up? There you go.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to get used to saying that. Can you tee it up for me?
That's right, guys. Game 6, potential closeout game for the Thunder, tipping off in about 90 minutes. Everybody's excited about it, we think, or so we've been told, but maybe not the casual NBA fan, because we've been talking about this for weeks now. And these NBA finals, unless you are a diehard basketball fan, just have not rated in any kind of way, shape, or form.
No matter how you fudge the numbers, because you know the other thing is we haven't had an NBA press release since that one.
Oh, no.
Right.
Have we had another one? Like, you remember when they came out trying to diffuse the first game?
Yeah, no, because what it was, but the viewers 18 to 34, and what the 50% of the young people.
Since then, we haven't seen anything. They couldn't even do that.
So, guys, through 5 games in this series, the finals are averaging just over 9 million viewers on ABC. That's down 19% from last year's finals, which ended in 5 games. Recall, Boston was up 3-0 in that series, so that one was even more of a dud
because there's no reason for people to watch.
Right. So that would make this series, outside of the bubble, by far the lowest rated in the Nielsen era. And here's the worst part about it, guys. This year's NBA Finals is the first time that Nielsen has this expanded out-of-home viewing measurement.
Which they never used to have. And the argument used to be there are people at sports bars that don't count,
exactly.
and all that kind of stuff.
So now they're including that.
And it's still low.
And it's still the worst outside of the bubble in NBA history.
No, that's
guys,
terrible.
To make it even worse, especially tonight, Monty mentioned Tyrese Halliburton is banged up. His calf's giving a lot of problems. He's going to give it a go, but he's clearly limited. All signs point to OKC bigly tonight.
And here's why this is the worst case scenario. Just what Monty said. Like, we started small market, players that people don't know, like the casual, right? The names, we know them if you follow basketball and you watch the NBA. But SGA, Halliburton, they're not household names.
Right.
So that was number 2. Number 3, if SGA, who had this incredible season and is the MVP and can't get people juiced up off of, like, what season and what would he have to do to get people jacked up about him is what I'm saying. Like, this was the year, your coming out party, people should know who you are. And then the kicker is the one guy who made Indiana viable with all the great shots and moments of this 2025 postseason. Now he's not even really available for the biggest game, which is to try to force a Game 7, and then who knows if he'd be able to play. That's why this is the worst-case scenario. Everything is bad for the NBA. Small markets, not having the big marquee names as far as players. Your MVP and star for one team, people really don't know, despite all he's accomplished this year. And lastly, the hero of the postseason is now banged up and can't be himself. It's the worst case.
Well, I think sometimes things are coming right down the pipeline. There's nothing you can do about it. It's an inevitability. And when you got LeBron and Luka kicked out, not only their names, but also the name of, which we just spent time talking about yesterday because they were sold for $10 billion, the Lakers. When you're going, okay, at least we have the reigning champs. They should do their part. They should get to the finals. Okay, at least we'll have a bigger market in Boston, and then we'll have the reigning champs for that storyline, a legacy, and blue blood, and the Celtics. They get kicked out. And then you're like, all right, well, shoot, maybe there's a long shot. Jimmy Butler now a Warrior, and they've been playing very well with him. And boom, they get knocked out. So the star power having Steph and Jimmy and Draymond is gone, and familiarity of the Warriors. So this is one of those things. It was coming down the pipeline. We saw it coming. You and I had discussions about it, and now here we are. But if you're the NBA, a couple of things to know. One, you've been here before. You've had, the seasons where we've talked about it. You beat it up to nauseum. You keep bringing it up. The Spurs have been in, some of the 3 lowest rated finals. You had the Nets. So it happens where you get these finals that are down. People aren't watching. And then hopefully you bounce back with something good, something juicy. And I think what also is in favor, number one, you got the Lakers being sold because now maybe the Lakers are able to do some things, which brings some juice.
You're being very optimistic.
Well, I mean, that's what that ownership has done. You know that, covering the Dodgers. Also, I think they have become where some of the real juice, like other sports like soccer or football as the world calls it, is some of the movement of stars that you're blown away are moving. NFL every now and again, you get some big stars moving, a quarterback or two that are moving. You're like, oh, shoot, Aaron Rodgers, the talk of the summer, and to see where he ends up now with the Steelers. So if Giannis gets out there, if KD starts to become on the move and becomes a Spur or a Rocket, I think that is where they also get some juice during the offseason. So I think the NBA has also become where now the movement of big-time players adds a little bit of flair and juice to the summer. But as far as this finals, yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do. SGA has been in the top, 2-3 finals MVP picks, finalists the last few years till he finally won it this year. You got a team that's an all-time defensive team, an all-time point differential team. But the thing that hurts, and you really can, to me, you can look at it as if this were Ja Morant, if this were Anthony Edwards, as far as young guys, the difference is they play above the rim. Each night you're saying, I may see something you hardly see. Literally jumping over guys, dunking on them. Or Ant Edwards, he more threes than anybody in the NBA. He goes 9 for 10 in the from the three-point line. Something that's spectacular, something, he's jawing with people, he's talking smack with fans. There's something to it. SGA, it works to the disadvantage that he's the model of consistency. You're just going to get 30 points every night, quietly, some mid-range jump shots, some free throws, good defense, no issues, no arguing with the refs. I'm going to go about my business. And that is great for him. It's going to get him a bunch of money. It's going to make him an All-NBA several times over. But for the fans and for the juice, you don't get anything with that. And Halliburton is too inconsistent to be that superstar because during the regular season, he disappeared in the regular season for 20 games because he's just, 18-6, and that's nothing spectacular about that until this postseason run. So, yeah, you didn't hope for it, but you hope that you get the bounce back next season and that the summer is interesting with trades and free agency movement.
Good luck. I hear you with all that, but it's still about market size, and people are regionalized. People in New York, once the Knicks got knocked out, not interested. People in Boston, once this is a reality if you don't have anybody who's really compelling. That's the issue. I mean, we can sit here and go like, oh, I love ball. Okay, Madison Square Garden. Don't. I know Knicks fans because I'm friends from people in New York. They're not watching. They're not. After the Knicks got knocked out, they were totally turned off.
It was a double too. It was personal.
Right.
It was their team that lost to that team.
And they're like, I can't watch. You know what I mean? And you wind up losing people. It's a tough.
It's a tough, and we it's nothing. There's nothing you can do. You try. Look, they're interviewing Mike Epps as we speak because he's the biggest Indiana Pacer fan they can muster up. If this were the Knicks, can you imagine all all the fans they'd have, all the stars, celeb? It'd be juiced up. Oh, look at all the people there and all of that. The best we got is Mike Epps.
All right, 877-99 on Fox is the phone number. Where's the juice for these NBA Finals?
Green, who we got?
All right, let's go. Shell in Orlando. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Shell?
Not too much, man. I appreciate it, and honestly love y'all's show. Listen to y'all all the time, but
thank you.
I just want to remind you that y'all obviously got a nationally syndicated show. You're being listened to by thousands and thousands of NBA fans and consumers from all around the country. I'm not trying to point fingers, but I do want to remind you that I think y'all have like a sacred responsibility to like create and promote the product on the floor. And so like my biggest complaint with NBA media is y'all like cannibalize. It's you never hear like NFL like down talking the product on the field. And so for you guys, when you're asked like where's the juice with like this current finals right now, I just want to say like y'all get to create those storylines. Y'all get to promote that and talk about that and hype it up instead of like tearing it down. And so like it becomes self-fulfilling prophecy at a certain point. And unless I'm like completely misreading it, like
so here's the issue. Okay, I hear you, and I think here's where you're misguided, because Shell, if there was a buzz and numbers, we couldn't have that narrative. There would be no conversation. Shell, they're not like the numbers are in the middle or okay but not great. These are all-time lowest rating numbers. It would be like a house being on fire and not covering the fire, Shell. Do you understand? Like it's all-time low. It's a story. That's a story. There's no way you can go on about this and act like it's not the all-time worst. The worst since COVID.
I hear that. I think the problem is this is not just a 24-25 season issue. This has been growing and growing and growing. So every single year, NBA media only wants to talk about the big names in the big cities, and all these small market teams get crapped on. You never hear that in the NFL. Nobody's down talking Cincinnati, Buffalo, Kansas City. Like, nobody down talks these teams. Like, man, like, Goodell would lose his mind if NFL media was down talking.
So no, I hear your point. Couple of things.
All I've said is I've been rooting for the Pacers to win. I picked the Pacers.
Yeah, I think what I would add to that, part of the reason we got this conversation because we're confused on SGA is doing everything right.
Right. What,
a team player, MVP, a baller, only putting up numbers that Jordan has. Why aren't people watching? And I'll personalize it. I've told you guys personally in our chats, and I've said it on the air. You guys know how I am about basketball. I'm a basketball nut. That's just my thing. But then, so are my friends. The guys that I've been talking to about the NBA and basketball since I was 8, 9, 10 years old, not a single one of them have texted me. And that has never happened in my life. And so that warrants the question of why. What is missing? What's different? So I don't think it's a talking down. It's a trying to figure out what the confusion is. Why is this the case? Is what I'm at, my approach.
And that's fair because you're used to getting stuff. All right, let's squeeze in another one. Is that Josh from – is that Idaho Falls? Yes, Idaho
Yes.
Falls. What's up, Josh? How are you?
Hey, guys, third-time caller. Love your
Third
show.
time. He's
Thank
keeping
you,
count
man.
in these
We
streets.
appreciate that, Josh.
Not
All the way
one, not
here
two.
in Idaho.
What you got, Josh?
Yeah, so I just got a couple things for you. So I don't think so I get the views are down, but to me, I'm a true basketball fan that just loves the game, and this is some of the best basketball I've seen in a long time. So for me, I love me some great defense. I love that the stars. I love that SGA is just a good dude, and Jay Will. They're just good dudes. Those are the people that I want my sons to watch and model their behavior after because they're good people that are doing the right things for the right reason. And I that doesn't get clicks, but at the end of the day, they got me to be a big fan. So that's all I got to say.
Josh, real quick, and Rob, I think you'll appreciate the call too. One thing is similar to the caller before, I think is not fair, is Rob G can be the testament. Obviously, you, Rob, sitting next to me. I've sat up here and said, I think we're looking at the model of the new NBA. You look at the Pacers, deep, 8, 9, 10 deep, bunch of different guys playing. And look at the defensive effort. Look at the camaraderie, the almost college-like style in which the Thunder play. I've sang their praises. But for us to have one segment where we're going, hey, well, what's up, what's going on here? And, as if I specifically, even me, have been talking about how great this is and how good they are. And I just said it the other day, you and I got a debate. I said, I think they're going to have a 5-6 year run, the Thunder, of winning possibly 2 or 3. So I don't want it to be as if we haven't stood up here and talked about how good basketball is.
Nah, but I'll push back even further. And real quick, I know we got Eddie House coming up in an update. Dude, I've been sitting in the last 10 years where all people talk about, baseball's sells 70 million tickets, and all they talk about is TV ratings.
I can't.
Am I right or wrong?
Argue. I want to argue with you because that's what we do. But
they sell 70 million tickets. The stadiums are packed. You know that. You're at Dodger Stadium, packed, and all they talk about is all the ratings on television about baseball. So baseball's gone through it. Now the ratings have taken a rebound in baseball, and they're going up. That's what's so weird about the NBA's going down in a time where baseball is going up. That's all I'm saying.
And listen, baseball caught some heat for a while. That's why they changed the game. Let's not act like they didn't speed up the pitch clock. Like they didn't try to shorten the games.
And then what happened?
The line shift.
The ratings went up. The impressions on social media.
Let's not act like that wasn't a conversation too. Right. And it's the thing. Listen, by the way, if you don't think this is happening with your favorite restaurant, meaning they're going behind the scenes, why the numbers ain't quite? Why is that one location that always does big? What's going? How do we shift? What do we need to do? That's why Pepsi or Coke changes their can every 2 years. It's the same product for you to go, man. You know what? I guess I will have a Pepsi today because they switched the can on me. Sorry, I digress.